Hello everybody, this is your student Facebook meteorologist Sean Bagden here talking about Tropical Storm Faye, which is getting well underway here in the eastern Atlantic Basin, or western Atlantic Basin, heading its way up the east coast of the United States here. You can see much better looking than yesterday, as pretty much the whole northern flank of the storm has now started to get convection around it. Classic, almost subtropical look to it. Looks like a nor'easter where you have dry air punching in on the south side and just this huge plume of convection on the northern edge of the system here. Center's located somewhere around here. With all the tropical storm force conditions primarily on the northern side of this, tropical storm conditions should start being felt in southern New Jersey near the Atlantic City area within the next hour or so here as this storm starts to push off in a northerly direction. These areas should be seeing tropical storm force conditions through most of the day today, especially up by the bend here north of Tom's River and into the Long Island area. Right there, definitely going to be seeing tropical storm force conditions and deteriorating conditions within the next few hours. Coastal flooding about to begin through the next high tide cycles here as we're starting to get this easterly fetch off of the Atlantic Ocean here, just piling water on to that New Jersey coastline. That's where your most significant flooding is going to be. Already very heavy rainfall rates have been realized, pushing onto the Jersey coastline. This should last for several hours as this center of low pressure is going to be passing and making landfall likely around the Toms River area, maybe even getting unlucky enough for it to be making landfall somewhere in the Queens area, which would not be good as it would have more time over water and maintaining intensity. So watching this precipitation shield is going to be key, how this evolves to where the tornadoes this afternoon are going to be and how and where all this rain falls. Because we are expecting pretty significant rainfall totals where that area of precipitation is going to fall. Current updated cone from the National Hurricane Center is showing it staying course, moving to the north-northeast, right into that Toms River, Queens area, with tropical storm warnings in effect for good reason along the Jersey Shore, Long Island, and the north and south shore of Long Island, as well as New York City and the southern coastline of Connecticut there. And then it will move up into Vermont and New Hampshire as a tropical depression. Current winds at 45 miles per hour, movement north at 8. That slow movement, very slow for a tropical system up here. Normally we're talking about it moving about as fast as those winds are actually going right now, which is interesting. As you can see here, most of that convection and tropical storm force winds off on the northeast side of the circulation right now. Going over to models, they are not handling this well at all. Most of them are having it go right up through, right in between Jersey and Pennsylvania. We already know this is wrong. The center of circulation is somewhere down here and is expected to move somewhere like this. Believe it's a convective feedback thing or something, but pretty much wherever you see things happening, it's going to be like 50 miles off to the east on this imagery right here, and the winds will be stronger. This is showing surface winds sustained at 23 knots. We're going to be talking near 55 miles an hour. I would guess at landfall, just because it's going to be staying over more open waters than models are expecting. So 55-mile-an-hour winds likely, screaming into the northern Jersey coastline and Long Island coastline, maybe with some funneling effects. Could see some near hurricane force gusts, probably around 65 to 70 miles an hour, coming into the northern Jersey coastline here, and especially here near the Bridgeport, Connecticut area. So looking at the precipitation, that's going to be the big point here. We're going to stretch this out onto the NAM because that one is a little bit better with the center of this low. Still not the best, but it gives us a full model run of precipitation. We'll just adjust accordingly here. So again, extremely significant rainfall totals in a already plagued area by heavy precipitation and strong thunderstorms over the past week or so. Right here over Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Catskills area. Again, 3 to 5 inches of rain widespread. Again, move this 50 miles to the east, so we're talking about 3 to 5 inches starting in a line kind of like this and going straight up through the Levittown, Trenton area, right up through Port Jervis, kind of like this, and then maybe seeing that going right up to the spine of the Berkshires here. So we're talking the Hudson River Valley into the Catskills. Not really talking about this area in Pennsylvania. I think this sharp gradient's going to be setting up somewhere right in here where that 3 to 5 inches of rain is going to be setting up. And also looking into the Berkshires here, could be seeing a secondary maximum in the upslope regions of 1.5 to 2.5 inches in those areas. Definitely less as you head over here due to high winds aloft. It's going to be setting up more of a boundary here as those winds slacken as they interact with the terrain. We can show you that on the 850 millibar winds. You'll clearly be able to see it on that. As we move up here, this is going to be 24 hours from 4 a.m. So this is 4 p.m. You can clearly see this slackening of winds right here as you have this low-level jet cranking right up to right about here, and where that stops, you really see this area of convergence start to develop here just to the north side of the low. This is also going to be where we see supercell structures developing just off to the northeast side of the low here, where the enhanced low and mid-level flow is going to be. As you can see, elongated photographs here, not really the best looking shape, as you're not really getting that full spectrum, but I assume you're going to be having supercell structures, maybe even a little closer to the shoreline here. I bet we can find a supercell tornado sounding down here along the coastline. Interesting, we do not. But we do have marginal storm relative helicities here for tornadoes. You're seeing storm relative helicities in effect of 176. We generally look for like 150 values of that for marginal tornado values, as well as 30 knots of shear for supercell structures, and we certainly have that. So definitely a tornado threat here on the northeast side of wherever this storm makes landfall, for sure here. SPC currently has a marginal risk for tornadoes. 2% tornado outlook has been issued I'd say likely for this area right here in western Connecticut, as that is where you have the more enhanced low-level flow backing in near the shoreline. You're going to get that slowing of the winds at the surface and acceleration aloft right when they make landfall, and that's going to create a little bit of a can create little spin-up vortexes as they make landfall within the rain bands with those individual supercell structures. So that's pretty much all we have here. Remaining a tropical storm through the duration of this, likely making landfall at a 55-mile-an-hour tropical storm here into the Queens or Toms River area of New Jersey and New York. So have a good day, everybody, and we'll brief you on any potential flooding there may be when we get down to Florida this afternoon. Have a great day.